Beta Series, media partner of the Berlin TV Series Festival 2020.
Thank you for being with us today for another talk during this Berlin TV Series Festival. Today, we're going to be talking with Hordur Runarsson. He's the showrunner of a new TV series that we did love here at the Beta Series. The Beta Series team loved this TV series called The Funeral. It's an Icelandic TV series who broke the rating record this year in Iceland. It's Hordur Runarsson who's directed this TV series. We're going to be calling him in a few minutes. It's a TV series who balances between drama and comedy and who focuses on a character who plans his own funeral. So it's extremely cynical, but with a lot of humor in it, as we're going to see with this conversation with the showrunner Hordur Runarsson. So I have the pleasure today to be with Hordur Runarsson. I hope I'm not misspelling the name. It's Icelandic. It's tricky for me, just like we said off air. Thank you for being with us. You're selected in this wonderful Berlin TV Series Festival for a show I loved. So we're going to be talking about that for a few minutes. A show called The Funeral. First of all, how did you get the idea of this show? Particular show with particular vibe, particular air, particular techniques, particular light. Really something different from what we see every day. And I do watch lots of shows, so I know when something is quite unique. So congratulations for that. I saw 3 episodes, to be honest with you. 2 episodes, to be honest with you. So how did you get the idea of the show, and when was the pre-production beginning? How long ago?
So thank you very much. You should watch the entire thing. Then it actually builds to a great finale, and you'll be really satisfied in the end. The idea is actually an old one. There's a guy. The creator is a guy that works in the media here in Iceland, and he's just great. He's had the idea for almost 10 years. Has been thinking about it and working on it and trying to shape it. It was brought to us year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and we loved the idea. We saw a way to shape it a little bit, maybe a little bit from the comedy side, and make it more dramatic, make it more realistic. Because in essence, it's actually quite funny that a guy is wanting to host his own funeral while still alive. So that's funny enough. And then we, try to create more dramatic situations and reality that people would connect to. The tone and the style is definitely something new here in Iceland as well, as you kind of pointed out. And we kind of, when we aired it, it was a new thing here, and we weren't really sure what to expect from the audience. To be honest, I was actually, thinking that there would be much diverse feedback in terms of a lot of people wouldn't like it, this style, but it wasn't the case, and it was a major hit. It broke the records of the platform where it was airing. It's called Síminn in Iceland, who aired it in April, and it just broke all the records in like a few days. But of course, it was in the COVID kind of pandemic situation with people staying at home a lot. But essentially, also people took to the concept and the heartfelt message that it brings. What's really important in life is to embrace your closest and communicate and nicely and spend time with them. So it kind of came at a great time, for that matter, to kind of bring people together in front of the TV to watch something that makes sense and what's important for us.
Yes, that's what we see with other selected artists and selected TV series. It's like extremely surprising that lots of TV series about universal themes and people being together and the importance of telling people what we feel about them when they're alive. It's kind of striking that it's out during this whole pandemic. It's kind of surprising. You just said that it's an idea that was born 10 years ago. How was it born then? How did you get the idea, and how were you approached to do it, and when were you sure that you're going to be writing for The Funeral?
So I think if I'm not mistaken, it was an idea that came around someone's funeral, and the fact that we all at some point in our lives think about our own funeral, what it would be like, and maybe try to live our lives at some point, asking the question, what will people say about me when I'm dead, and all that. How have I lived my life, and kind of try to be of your best behavior. It was also connected to the lead actor, who is kind of the most famous comedian in Iceland for the last 50 years. I mean, the guy's almost 70 years, or he's around 70 years old, but we wanted to give him the best dramatic role he's gotten in his life. Not a costume character or a slapstick humor or something, but give him a really big dramatic role that he could embrace and embrace the talent that he is. And so that I think the idea was shaped or came about for those two things. I'm trying to remember the exact timeline of when it came in, but we worked on it. It's an old idea, but we made it happen in a very short time. We put together a great room of people to write it. It was a room, writer's room that we haven't done before. We had some new people coming in. Stand-up comedians, both female and male, dramatic directors and auteurs like Baldwin Z, who is of course one of the top directors in Iceland. He was in the room working on it, and we kind of were able to strike a perfect balance. Actually, one of the people in the group is a guy that recovered from having cancer, so he could share experiences from having cancer and then having beaten it. So that was also a valuable source of information for something of this delicate nature as the series is.
And so the script was written. You had the actor in mind. You knew that he was hired when you were writing the script. The script was written for him. Maybe that's why it seems like the character was written for him. So it was indeed written for him.
Yeah, exactly. It was from the get-go. We knew we had him on board before writing, and it was always written for him. And he was happy. He was really happy about this and excited, and has been excited for years. He was approached years ago, before we tried to really, and before we got it. And but the funny thing is that he was so happy that, okay, now I can just play myself, and now I don't have to play a character, and now I can just be down and old and boring, and not just trying to run around making everyone laugh. So I think it was a funny mixture of things that came about and constructed the series, and yes, the character is of course the main essence of the series and the story, where we reflect on different different age of different generations of people, like him dealing with his son, who's of a completely different generation, and then of course him connecting with his granddaughter, which is a beautiful part of the story, and really where he learns a lot about life through her, which is so important for us in today's world, that we also listen to our kids and take after the younger ones. It's not everything is not as it should be, because you've always done it that way before.
And how do you explain the incredible? You told about that. You talked about that earlier. The amazing success, the extraordinary success in Iceland of the funeral. You said that it's a different series visually and in storytelling than what we used to see from Icelandic TV series. How is it different, and is it the only thing that could explain the amazing success of this TV series for you?
I think I just touched upon one of the key success factors of the series is the different generations being respected and represented in the series. That it's not necessarily so the audience that watched it and related to it was huge, because there were characters of, like I said, different generations, different ages, dealing with things in reality that we all deal with at some point. Either you have dealt with it because you're older, or you are dealing with it because you're in that age right now, or you know you're going to be dealing with it at some point. So that's kind of I think it's the laid back style that made it happen, that people are kind of really appreciative of getting something that is not overly, creative, but it's laid back. It's normal. It's your daily life represented in various characters, but then always with that lurking feeling that yes, you have to embrace what you have today and the emotions, and people were really, really emotional. And as I said in the beginning, it builds to a really high, big, strong emotional climax in the end, which people just really took to, and you can sense that when people finished watching, and most people actually binged it in either a day or a weekend, because all the episodes came on the platform at the same time, and you could really sense that once people finished, they just were like captivated, and it was something that has struck a chord with them that hasn't maybe done in other series in that dramatic sense.
Yeah, but that's why I can't wait to binge watch it. I watched 2 episodes. We're going to be honest with the listeners. We're recording it on Thursday, so I'm going to be watching it over the weekend, and I can't wait to see where these characters are going to take me. How did you write this TV series? Was it a long process? Did you write alone? Did you do research? Did you go back to maybe literature, maybe other TV series, maybe movies, or did you stay in your own world? What is your way of writing this kind of TV series? Once again, extremely different from other Icelandic TV series we saw before.
Yeah, exactly. I briefly maybe started explaining it before, but we put together a very diverse group of people in the room. We had 6 people there, so it was not all writing, but all contributing to the process. It was a thankful experience, and the main part, or the main goal, was to make everything realistic and make make all the story compelling and make sense in today's world, because we did have this fantastic idea and gimmick, if you can call it, a guy wanting to host his own funeral. So to build up the drama, we really were attentive to feelings and structures, and to capture that. And we did, like I briefly explained as well, is like we did have very different people in there, very high on drama, director, writer, comedians that are more on the funny side, but then we needed to be very attentive not to make it into a slapstick humor type series. We didn't want that. We did do research, and one of the guys, as I said earlier as well, is in the group, was someone that had gone through cancer treatment, and knowing what all the elements of that was, which was really helpful. Then the director, and he was in the room from the beginning, and he wrote the biggest part of it, and so that was also helpful in terms of translating it already while shaping it. We translating to the screen was easier, and we wanted to do it because we wanted to capture something special, and we felt it was not, it would be more difficult to do it in a room and then bring in a director at a later stage. So he was really pivotal to this entire thing, and did well.
So it's really a collective work of writing. And what, without spoiling, of course, anything for the French listeners, but what could be, of course, you shot everything pre-COVID, what happens in the world, but what could be the message, or maybe the value of this TV series, the universal message that whether you're in UK, Iceland, France, that could be appealing to you, of course, without spoiling anything for people who didn't see, but what could be the universal values and message of the funeral?
Yeah, I would say it's everyone, will eventually die. That's one of the only certain things we have in life, but the common message, the theme that you should grasp, and I think people did that, is, be respectful to your loved ones and enjoy the time that you have right now. Try to be as happy and make people around you as happy as possible. And then thirdly, maybe, or the last thing is maybe that usually when people act in certain ways, there's a reason. And it's maybe a reason that you don't know or don't see. If someone is rude to me or is not doing what I would like him to do or her, then maybe there's something behind that you don't know, but they know. And so everyone has their story, which is important, and we should be respectful of that and their backgrounds, and irrespective of where they come from. I think that's sums it up.
That's very inspiring indeed. And my last question would be, what was the TV series? I was going to say the movie, but since it's a TV series festival, that struck you the most as an artist that you go back to a lot during your work, or maybe just as a personal influence, some TV series that are really appealing to you as a human being, but as an artist as well. It could be a classics, it could be new things. What are your TV series, your classics?
I actually carry the very debatable, stamp in my company to be I call myself the T-shirt. So I'm the broad audience. I represent the normal guy in the suburbs watching TV in the evenings, shutting off my brain. So I'm very, my inspiration comes from something that captures, entertainment in a creative way. So I really enjoy some different, almost to the extent of an art house thing, but mostly I'm in the broader sense of series. And for my funeral, my reference would be a series like the Kominsky Method on Netflix. I really, really enjoyed, and it plays on certain, there are certain things there that are similar. Maybe Afterlife would be another reference for this one. My funeral would fall in the same category as these two series, which I really enjoyed. So my preferences are really, out and about. It's not a genre that I necessarily go after. It's captivating characters that I can follow through a long period of time, and then of course I do the occasional crime thrillers that are quite nice and easy to watch in a way, and so I would kind of say that.
These are good references, and this is an inspiring answer. Thank you very much. Once again, hope I'm not misspelling the name, Hordur Runarsson. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Close. Not that, but close. Okay, next time you're on the show, I promise I will have you right. Hordur Runarsson. It's an amazing show, The Funeral. So 2 episodes. Can't wait to binge watch it this weekend. Selected at the Berlin TV Series Festival. Thank you for being with us today, and I really hope to have you here in Paris when it's all better in the world.
All right, great. Look forward
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Enjoy the week.
Bye bye.
Okay, take care. Bye bye.
Thank you, Hordur Runarsson, for this talk. The Funeral, a TV series we loved at Beta Series. You see, it's kind of appealing in the world we're living right now. This TV series balancing between drama and comedy. Please stay with us on betaseries.com and the application Beta Series for other talks with the artistic teams of this Berlin TV Series Festival. And see you tomorrow for another conversation.
Beta Series, media partner of the Berlin TV Series Festival 2020.